just a different mindset to think of because a lot of guys go, okay, right? I'm the one that should be chasing her because she has all these matches and I don't have as many matches. That's what a lot of guys, that's the game plan. That's how we're kind of brainwashed and brought up. But women are repelled by a guy that chases after them, just like a cat. If you chase after a cat, the cat's like, get away from me, runs away. A cat is not a dog. They're different in that sense. Same with men and women in that sense. Women want a man with high status, a man that is busy, a man that's going places in life, just as a general thing. They like mysterious men, the bad boys, the guys they can't figure out. So, knowing that, what you want to do is you should be, when you're texting, you should not be chasing to talk to her. Hey, I can't wait to chat with you. Hey, let's chat in 20 or 30 minutes. Hey, let's plan a conversation. Because to a woman, she's looking for the guy that's busy and she's like, wow, this guy's kind of has a cool life. I just want to join it. She doesn't want the guy to make his life her. Now, I want to stop here and just let you kind of put some input here because I don't know how far you've dug in or how far you've, what you followed me or whatnot.
No, I resonate with that too. I think that, I've followed along with what you're saying and I've tried to use a lot of those things. I probably have a harder time when it's like right in the beginning, or maybe someone doesn't give me as much to work with that it sounds, there's not something witty to put out. I am really busy, so I usually do say that, or I've been really productive, those kind of things. I'm a musician, so I do a lot of like music production and other things like that from my home studio. So oftentimes I'll talk about like what I'm doing so that it's clear that it's, I'm not just like sitting around trying to text with her, but I have a lot of projects that I have going on. I think that's probably I make the mistake more often that like I want to catch someone when they're live, like when you can, you're going back and forth, and probably am more eager. There's sense to maybe a signal being too eager to respond back more quickly. But I know that women also, when they just get so many matches and other things like that, that you will move down the the queue just in their inbox, so to speak. So I guess that's what I'm also curious about. Like, how do you catch them kind of while they're on, so to speak, but also not give away your hand that you're too eager as well?
Yeah, okay. So this is and this is why I have a business teaching texting and online dating advice, is because it's a good question. I look at it a completely different way. I look at it as, how does she get a hold of me when I'm finally on my phone? So it's just a different mindset to think of because a lot of guys go, okay, right? I'm the one that should be chasing her because she has all these matches and I don't have as many matches. That's what a lot of guys, that's the game plan. That's how we're kind of brainwashed and brought up. But women are repelled by a guy that chases after them, just like a cat. If you chase after a cat, the cat's like, get away from me, runs away. A cat is not a dog. They're different in that sense. Same with men and women in that sense. So the only way you can do this is you have to text in such a way that it oozes confidence. And one of the ways is you do that is you say less than you think. You send less than you think. You don't over-explain. You make her work to figure out what you're saying. You make her assume things. When you over-explain, it becomes too easy for them. So the way that I text, it comes off as confidence. I don't over-explain myself. That's one way that she gets the vibe that, okay, this conversation I want, to be a part of. The other way is I use those cliffhangers. I'm never forcing a bunch in. I'm texting with such little that if I send a really attractive woman a short, tiny little message, she looks at that and goes, wow, this guy really expects me to respond to this. And then she looks at it again and goes, this guy's kind of got balls. Wow. You see what I'm saying? It's like the way that you can get away with saying less, it comes off as confidence because I literally I don't care. It's like, if you don't respond, I don't care. I'm fun to talk to. You'd have fun hanging out with me. It's a whole different mindset change. And I know it's not it's not something that just comes, right? It comes with a lot of practice. But for instance, if you follow mirror texting, are you aware of mirror texting with time that I talk about?
Yeah.
Okay, if you follow that to a T where you are never responding before she is, it might take a few days, a week. It could even take a couple weeks. When you have really good text game, you don't rush anything. It might take a few weeks for a girl that you matched with because she weeds through her inboxes. But instead of you falling down the queue and she forgets about you, so you go, shoot, I need to text her again. If you play it the right way, what happens is it marinates like a fine wine. She sees all these guys that keep responding. She opens up her phone. Okay, Enrique responded, blah, blah, blah responded. Brian responded. And then she starts to literally, and I'm telling you, I sit down with women all the time and talk about this stuff. And they show me their matches and I ask them, I talk to them about this. I know how their mind works. They almost go through it in a reverse effect. All these other guys are sending me 3-4 messages. Why is this guy down here, Adam, not texting me again? Why is he not chasing after me? And then she becomes curious. Then she goes, how do I get Adam on his phone so that I can get him to text me more like all these other guys are doing? Does that make sense? I mean, I'm throwing a lot at you. This is why I have created so many videos or breakdowns or text example videos over and over and over again, or how to set up your profile and all these other things, because it's a fine science. Basically, I'm throwing a lot at you, but when I said 15 minutes, I'm going to give you what I believe is the best absolute advice to you in this 15 minutes. I'm going to do it even though it's coming pretty fast. Let's look at the real quick. We got a few minutes left. The Instagram message you have here showing me, the girl that starts with an M.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have the, at the top where it says, laugh out loud, you are kind of hard to pin down, lady. And then if you said, if you ever want to chat or meet up, hit me up. Otherwise, I'm going to let you be. All right. That is the type of attitude you want women to be sending to you. You want her to be like, dude, you are a musician. You're hard to figure out, man. You're hard to pin down. I want to reach you. You want that energy coming from her. And again, the only way that energy will come from her is if you hold your ground, you follow like the rule, the mirror texting, and then you get better at breaking up your texts to, even though they're normal conversations, it makes it not boring, right? I don't ever ask girls like, hey, how are you today, right? She's answered that a million times. I'd rather say something as simple as, I bet my day was way more exciting than your day, right? Even if you're asking this, it's the same thing. How was your day? But just think of framing it completely different. How was your day? No. Hey, I bet my day kicked your day's butt. It's the same idea of what did you do for the day, but now she goes, what? No, I bet it didn't. Guess what I did? Blah, 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 right? If you were going to go down that route, but you see how you now stand out. You're different. And again, it's not always easy. And I'm sitting here, I see so many guys' messages. I see so many women's messages. So I can basically play the game how I want to play it because I know what most guys are doing and how to kind of stand out in that way. Again, that's why I try to relay this information to guys. And I'd be like, hey, these are guys are doing this. Don't do that. So it takes a lot. But the more you understand that, it starts to become this really fun hidden language with a woman. Like when you get it and you're like just dead on confident in your messaging, women will understand that from you. You don't need to tell it to them. They'll just, by your text, they'll just go, he gets it. And she'll light up. She'll be like, this is game time. This guy's super witty. He doesn't come after me. So I know that I'm going to have to be on. I've had girls that will tell me that they get messages from so many other guys, and they'll say that I've sat down, and when I get a message from you, Adam, I reply, and then I'm like, shoot, that was stupid. I shouldn't have said that. And then I think really, really hard for a really clever, witty reply. Like when girls are drinking or something, they spill this information for me. They tell me how hard they think and work to send a message to me because they're like, I know that if I don't send him one or look like I'm trying, he's not going to text me back. So she's always chasing. It's a totally different mindset, but when you understand that, it starts to really flow naturally with you as a man, right? Because you want to be, I'm busy, all that. Like we're told you have to stop your day and call the girlfriend and check in with her. Like guys don't want to naturally do that. We're brainwashed into that. So it flows really natural with like a masculine persona, but it's unlearning the crap we were fed throughout our entire life and relearning the right way to do things. And one last one, let's leave with this, and then I'll let you give some final thoughts. Is just right below that part where she says, "Oh man, sorry, I fell asleep on accident." They always say stuff like that. But again, you maybe can look at your text now and be like, "Okay, I understand why I got a response like, oh man, sorry, I fell asleep on accident." So then after that, laugh out loud, silly. I thought maybe you lost interest and bailed. Okay, that right there, what does that communicate if you say that to a girl?
That I care, maybe that she bailed.
And it does that come off as confident or not? Are you sure of yourself?
I mean, maybe in my head, I'm just more making that as a statement. Just like, yeah, thought you bailed. Like, hey, good to hear from you. I thought you were, I thought you were gone. That's kind of
Yeah.
how in my head, but text maybe doesn't always convey the tone or something like that.
Yeah, well, again, but women will read into the tone because I can
Right.
read into the tones. And so when you say something like that, right? I thought maybe you lost interest and bailed. That means it was in your mind that maybe she lost interest and bailed, right?
Right.
Now, again, the way I'm going to frame it is I'm going to just tell you the difference. Me, that doesn't even cross my mind. There's no way a woman just lost interest in me and bailed. I don't even know. If she didn't reply to me, she's out of my mind. I don't even remember the conversation. I wasn't like sitting around going, oh, maybe she bailed. Now, again, I know earlier in my days of learning this stuff, I would sit around my phone going, dang it, did she lose interest in bail? So I get it. That's a progression of it. I'm just telling you the different mindset. The mindset that you want to get to is basically like, that's not even in your realm of possibilities that she would do that. She wouldn't do that. Like it doesn't even make sense that she would lose interest in you and bail. You're too cool of a guy. It doesn't make sense. It's out of your mind. You don't even care. It's like, oh no, she just couldn't keep up with me. She wasn't cool enough for me. She couldn't handle me. Like those are the things that go through my mind. That if we talk about a Chad or Tyrone or a guy that is really successful with women, that it goes through every guy's mind. He doesn't care. It's not even like whatever type thing. That's kind of the confidence part of it. Now, again, that comes with practice. But I'm just trying to give you the difference in that type of mindset. So if you send something like that, every girl reads into that and goes, oh, he's not very confident, or he wasn't confident in this conversation, because she reads between the lines. Women read under the iceberg, right? The iceberg's up here, this top part, the blue of my pen. That's guys. This is how guys communicate. Women look at that and they play under. They look at everything under it. They've been doing this stuff since slumber parties, since they grew up. This is why guys need a lot of help with this. Typically, girls grow up thinking about this, talking about boys. They got tons of matches to practice on. They talk to their girls about this. Guys don't, right? We don't talk. How many times do you sit around and talk game with your buddies? Not very often. If you do, they probably don't have good advice for you. So it's not like you're going to learn anything.
I like that point. I mean, it's probably true. I think I mean, I got your ebook before, and I think that there are certain circumstances that I find myself, I'd say I probably go along with that like 80% of the time. And then there'll be someone that'll come along that I'll be like, oh, damn, she's really interesting to me. And then I kind of like lose the focus of it because I'm actually really interested in the other person. And I can see all the other ones where I'm like, whatever. And how it's still, the response is different. They're texting me back or they're responding in that same way because I'm not responding very often and really busy. It's just that I drop the ball when it's like someone that I'm particularly interested in.
And you know what? I'll tell you this. I went through my years, especially because I've been doing online dating for like 11 years. I went through my days where I was kind of like that. I didn't care about certain girls. So the girls that on me, like if we were to use a scale, average, not the best looking, those are the girls that I was able to get for a certain period of time. And I could never get the good looking, the attractive women. Now to me, and this sounds crazy to a lot of people, honestly, it's easier for me to attract a really super attractive woman than an average girl because I know how scared most guys are to play it with the super attractive girl. They play scared, so it's easier for me because a girl, they just sense my confidence and they're like, okay, this is gonna be fun, and then I just don't make mistakes anymore. So it just the attraction builds over time. It's not magic. I don't get a girl to fall in love with me in 2 texts. I just don't make mistakes, and I slowly marinate it over time where she just goes attraction. And there's guys that this happens to other guys all the time. There's guys that come to me and they're like, okay, same thing. I can get matches, all that, and then down the road after as they practice this, they become the same way. They just have this confidence. We're like, doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm not going to bend over backwards for her because now I know how to meet women wherever I go on online dating, and now I know how to text them. It's like this confidence just grows, and then you really instill the I am the prize mentality.
Yeah, that's good.
To watch this full video, plus get my entire 12-level system for how to create attraction with your thumbs. That's right, create attraction with your fingertips. Join Texting School. You can go to my website, www.textingprince.com/school in all caps. This is the education that every man needs, especially in this digital era.